What's up, everybody? It's Kyle once again with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. Back from Italy. I'm over here at the Lambertville Estate, our senior home, a premier place of its kind in the state, recording a podcast. And I've got a lot of good thoughts. Probably bang out 3 podcasts this week or so where the content is fresh in my mind. Today, I thought all this stuff tied together nicely, talking about my trip to Italy, talking about fitness and health from looking at the Italians, and also speaking about, which tied in a lot of funny ways, my summary of the 30-day squat challenge and how that ties into habits and fitness. Now, as you may or may not know, I was not going to go to Italy as recently as 3-4 weeks ago for my youngest brother Precious' wedding. I'm very, very happy I did. I'll be making a separate podcast out of lessons that I took away from being there and really experiencing that. So really cool stuff. But with the fitness aspect, when you look at the people over there, very, very calm, very slower pace of life. And the 4 keys to youth that I always talk about: fasting, walking, laughing, and the ability to squat. Now, the one thing I can really say, being an outside observer, is the laughing or the happiness component. Almost I would say every single Italian that we met, they love what they do, whether that was driving the taxis, the cabs, waiters in the restaurant. They really, you can tell they're just present. They're fulfilled with what they're doing. They're not looking necessarily for the next thing. I'm not sure, I did some research on the politics in Italy, so I'm not sure how much that plays into it, but the fulfillment factor. Now, Italians also have very good genes. So as you may or may not know, I'm 50% Italian. Leo and Chrissy, my grandmother that just passed. A lot of you know about Leo. About a year and a half ago, they were going to go on this trip originally 2 years ago when it was first scheduled, and they never got to go back to see the homeland. Their parents were both off the boat. So all 4 of my great grandparents on that side were directly from Italy. But you could see it even in my family that's Italian, as far as the calmness, the no hurries, no worries type attitude. Just relax, take a deep breath. And that really plays into your fitness. If you are somebody that's super type A, super aggressive, go-getter type attitude, which can benefit you, but then you also take that into the gym where you're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing when you're already overstressed and you're already overworked and you don't need to do that, right? Sometimes you got to be able to back off. So you might check those other boxes on the keys to youth. But if laughter/happiness is low, you're never going to achieve full fitness. And remember, fitness is your ability to do the task at hand. For most of us probably that are listening to this, unless you have something very specific, which we do have a lot of people at the gym that are training for specific things, but unless you have a very specific thing, fitness really is your ability to perform day in and day out in your life without fatigue. So fitness is the ability to perform without fatigue. When laughter is not present and this chill approach to life is not present, you're never going to achieve shall I say, tick all the boxes to the 4 keys to youth. Now, the Italians, when they eat, like we experience the eating there, right? It's a drawn out thing. It's nice. It's not a rush. And that ties into the fasting component. Something I've always taught and believe in is if you don't have time to sit down and enjoy the meal, don't eat. That's why fasting plays so well into a busy type lifestyle. Now, while I was there, as far as my own personal fitness, I transitioned into pretty much a brunch and a dinner, but I enjoy the festivities. Beers throughout the day, wine, being that we were over there. and it was really good. I didn't do any formal workouts. What I was doing was my 30-day squat challenge, which I'm going to touch on because that wound up taking on a life of its own over there in Italy. I walked a lot. I had some late nights, so sleep wasn't the main priority while I was there. Seeing a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time and just being with family and friends, probably a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and realizing that I was in that moment, right? Instead of thinking about, man, this would be really cool to look back on, trying to be present in that moment. But as far as my fitness, I still had about a half week to go when we got there as far as my 30-day squat challenge. So I can tell you the first day I put a post up, I think it was on Facebook, my legs were shot from all the travel. That was a long first day of travel with the time change and everything. So the 30-minute squat, when I started doing it that evening in Italian time, they're 6 hours ahead of us, really seemed to rejuvenate me and help bring my legs back. And then we walked a lot, went down to the lake, jumped off a bridge, which was cool. Again, that's fitness for me, the ability to jump off a bridge and swim over to the shoreline when the water is 60, 65 degrees, which felt great, the cold water therapy and all that. But that's something I want to be able to do. There's a lot of people my age, but like guys probably are 40 years old, that wouldn't do that. And keep in mind, right, fitness is also about your mindset. That fear of heights is always in the back of my head. And I looked, and that was about a 20, when I'm standing up on top of a 25, 26 foot jump. But I went up there with Brax, and I knew once, he said, Daddy, come on, go. I said, all right, I got to do it. I can't back down. I'm doing this, right? This is something I want to be able to do and show my kids, look, you can have fun. You can explore. You can explore the elements of life. So anyhow, did that. Now, that the first stop was in Lake Como, where George Clooney has a house, which is a really cool spot. When we got to the second part of the trip, where the wedding was in Florence, the second day there, waiting to go on a wine tour, and it's a lot of pressure. My youngest brother, a lot of his buddies who I hadn't met yet, so it was really neat to meet them. A lot of his whole childhood, high school friends was really good to connect with. So I always liked those people, always good dudes. Some girls there too, but just awesome. But we're waiting for the buses to go on a wine tour. I start doing the squat. And before you know, what are you doing? And he starts explaining, well, he's doing this 30-day, 30-minute squat challenge. So some of them start doing it. And it just kind of started morphing, right? And I tried to team them up where every time I was doing it, if I wasn't doing a back-supported one, I would do some push-ups with it. And you might have seen I had put a post up as well. It was the same day, me and my brother, Shannon Brooks, not Presh. We started doing push-ups in the middle of the sidewalks. I was doing the squat in the middle of cafes when people had to walk around me, but nobody really looked at me weird. It was fitness. And I actually finished it the night of the wedding. Put a picture up of that. There was a group of about 5 people got down on the dance floor with me. We finished out like the last 3 minutes, which was really cool on the night of the wedding. And I decided right from that point, I'm not going to do 30 minutes a day because that's actually a big time commitment. Think about that. I did 900 minutes. I did 900 minutes. What is that, 15 hours of squatting throughout the month. Now, before I go to how I'm going to tie that into a fitness habit, and really how you could perform your fitness wherever you are, some of the things I noticed already, I can get up out of the bottom of the squat. It didn't happen towards the end of the month without having to, ease my knees back into it. I could pop right out of the bottom, which is really cool. And look, at the gym and everything, my squat form is what I would think picture perfect. I've been doing this now more than half my life. But that's a key to youth, be able to get down in that position. So the squat challenge really took on a life of its own. I had people messaging me, people doing it, people asking, why are you doing that? What does it help? So really, even over there, just getting to help people and say, hey, the body should be able to get into this position. It's good for your ankles, knees, hips, low back, good for your digestion or whatnot. So how do I take that? So I decided right away, okay, I'm going to keep doing 5 minutes a day. So I got 1 more minute left today, but every time I do a segment of that 5 minutes, I'm going to couple that with 25 push-ups. Will I miss a day here and there? I'm sure I will. But that is a fitness habit that was formed off of going intense. So when you understand how the brain works, right, you don't want to use a lot of willpower to do anything because your brain is anti-willpower as far as forming habits. So I use a good bit of willpower on the front end. And now from that 30 days, I extract what I need to do to work on my health and to continue doing it, which to me is going to be 5 minutes a day. Again, every time I do that, now I link that with something else, which is the push-up. You could do stuff for your health and wellness like that, where you do something and then you take a smaller chunk of it once you feel the benefits and all that, and link it with something else. 5 minutes, 25 push-ups at a clip, whatever that is, if I'm doing 4 sessions or 2 sessions or whatnot, it's just constantly. And I was doing that the second half of the trip. So that's really how I worked on my fitness. And, we swam and all that stuff, but it really tied in nicely, finishing that on the Italy trip, observing their culture as far as their level of fitness, which I didn't see a lot of gyms there. Again, I didn't look around too hard, but the main thing for their fitness was the laughter in the social piece and being happy. Right, there's my grandmother that just passed, and that timing was kind of serendipitous too, because she passed. We had a funeral, we had the service. Man, when was it? Maybe a week before we went, and she was such a big impact on everybody that met her. But she hated getting sunlight. She just pretty much drank Coke her whole life. Never drank water. Ate fried foods and sweets, never exercised, lived to 95, and she was still in great shape. So I attribute that to her mindset. She was happy. And the thing about happiness, another podcast I'm going to be making probably this week, happiness, the door to happiness opens inward. If you try to push yourself towards happiness and you think it's something you're going to go achieve by doing something or becoming happy, that's not how it works. The door opens inward, so you don't get to choose when you're happy. And happiness isn't necessarily tied to just relaxation and pleasure. Happiness comes from growth. Growth comes through the process of taking obstacles, overcoming them, taking struggles, overcoming them, the mental resistance training that I always talk about. So that's my take on Italy and fitness and what I did for my fitness while I was there. Right back to my 48-hour fast today. Started last night. I'll go right back into that. And when life strikes, guys, enjoy the moment. There was too many times when I was dieting, when I was competing, and I'd be traveling and doing trips, and I would not enjoy what I was doing, because I'd be like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm at my brother's wedding or it's vacation. I got to stick to this many macros, and I can't have that wine and that beer and blah, blah, blah. And it was just, it was quite a memorable trip. It was great to explore real world fitness once again, which I always love doing when I'm traveling. And that's what I got for you. If you guys would like to get my free fasting material, my mixtape, and free audio, free manual. If you didn't already get the Panda incorporates all this, but not the audio. The audio is something new. You go to kylenewell.com/manual. You can download that and get on my list. And that's what we got. We'll be having stuff for Newell Strength for the gyms coming at you this week. Looking forward to it. Thanks for all the support. Hit the like button, hit the share button, leave a comment or a thumbs up if you like this episode. And if you are listening on iTunes, whenever that may be, please leave a 5-star review. I want to start getting that number up, because I feel like this content, this stuff I'm going to be putting out can help people a lot. But we got to spread the word more. All right, guys, have a great day. Get your week off to the start that it deserves.